When I was growing up in Topeka, I always remembered our local newspaper as something of integrity. If you think about how our newspaper is the prime method for recording our history, then fair and balanced journalism should be something that we all should demand. I can remember reading the articles, and if someone had an issue with what was being stated, then they could write a letter to the editor, which could be published and signed with the author's name. If someone wanted to remain anonymous while providing information as a source, they could write, call, or email a reporter without fear of being exposed, and the reporter could then investigate the validity of the claim. With the advent of technology, today's newspaper has to constantly overcome new obstacles. While I believe that we are still blessed with a staff that truly cares about journalistic integrity through their writings, I believe that there's a loophole that's been being exploited by some people in this community for quite some time now. It's come to my attention that there are some individuals who have been using this tool as a weapon of mass distraction, from politicians and activist groups looking for a way to manipulate their causes, to medically underserved individuals with mental issues. All of them are given free access to force their will to the masses, and they never have to personally stand behind their claims. It's anonymous, and if you're a coward or a power monger, it's beautiful. I love Topeka, and I believe that we have an image problem that we need to overcome together. It's not so much an image problem to those from outside our area as much as it is a self-image problem. One only needs to log on to our newspaper website and read the comment section of virtually any news article. I like to stay informed of happenings in our city. But when I read an article and my eyes don't really have an opportunity to differentiate between the journalism and the opinion section, I find myself getting angered. At first, my anger was directed at what was being said by the commenters. Their incessant need to tear down virtually everything and everyone who try to make our community prosper with no regard for facts, it made me furious. It wasn't long before I was reading slanderous comments made about myself. Let me be clear. I have personally posted only 2 times on the newspaper's website as a commenter. Both times were to respond to slander being thrown around by anonymous voices about myself and my family. I should not have had to answer to those posts. They should have been moderated out of existence before I had the chance to read them. Instead, they remain, to this day, attached to the articles for all of our future history to read. That is what turned my frustration to a different direction. My frustration was with the way the comment section is structured and managed. I'm tired of seeing good people torn down and discouraged in our community by these anonymous influences. Good, hardworking people don't have the time to sit around all day and defend themselves from slander on a blog. They're out there working hard for their families and working hard to try and be productive members of their community. It's about time that someone speaks out about this. If you'll bear with me over the next couple of minutes, I'll explain how the system is being exploited, and I'll present some possible solutions to the issue. If you like what I show you, I encourage you to stand up and let your voice be heard to the powers that be. Let's take a moment to try and understand the flaws of the system. While some people may be living in an online fantasy world, our local news is far from a fantasy topic. Avatars and anonymous screen names are no way to address the real-life issues that face our community. If these people want to turn life in Topeka into a fantasy world of bad jokes, then they have the power to start their own website and keep it away from anything that claims to be a legitimate source of journalism. Do you ever wonder why some of the top commenters on CJ Online blatantly admit that they don't even live in Topeka? Yeah, me too. It was also brought to my attention recently that it is incredibly easy to create as many accounts and screen names as an individual wishes. I believe that some of our tech-savvy leaders have figured this out, and they underestimate the intelligence of the people they should be serving. It's rather simple to scam the comment system. Sure, there are terms that users are forced to agree to, and according to those terms, CJ Online only allows each person to hold 1 account. And that's great. If you're someone who follows the rules with no motive for personal gain. But what about the rest of the people? The bottom line is that you can have as many accounts on their website as you can create free email accounts on Gmail, Yahoo, etc. With that power, our not-so-humble servants have the ability to fraudulently represent the will of the people. As you might be able to tell, I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I have some possible solutions that I'd like to present for discussion. My first solution is to make the standard website format mirror the existing mobile format. By that, I mean that we need to clearly draw a line between the journalism and the opinions. On the mobile version of the CJ Online website, readers must actually click the link under the article to be taken to the comment section. I believe this feature should be extended to the standard web version. As a side benefit, the newspaper website would receive more clicks and potentially generate more ad revenue. I also believe that the veil of anonymity should be raised and that people should be willing to personally stand behind their comments. Maybe then people might give a second thought to what they're posting and how slanderous it might be. Perhaps one of the easiest and most effective fixes for the problem would be to switch the current system over to a Facebook integrated system. This would allow any current member of Facebook to comment real-time on any article while spreading their comments on their timeline and organically advertising CJ Online's site. This would also level the playing field for new users who might like to make a comment on a story but are silenced by waiting for an admin to approve their account. In that case, the admin could spend more time moderating comments and less time approving and setting up user accounts. The technology is available to put an end to this epidemic that's plagued our community. I implore the Topeka Capital Journal staff to investigate these issues. As a concerned citizen and an avid reader of CJ Online, I would be willing to help out, free of charge, to help work out a viable solution. To everyone else, it's important to understand that this doesn't stop with CJ Online. We all must do our part. If you're a grown adult who thinks that your snarky, childish comments are moving us forward, please stop. If you're a person of authority who's violating our trust with anonymous rhetoric, please stop. When you act like this, you're hurting our community. You're hurting your friends. You're ultimately hurting yourselves. You're hurting all of us. This is our community. Our forefathers built it, and now it's our job to make sure we can give it the best chance of success for future generations. Friends, let us not take that responsibility lightly.